Actually, I think Akers, one of the guys that's in the league, told me he had him and he's dropping him. So I think I might look to pick him up as soon as he drops him.
It's so hard to wake people up for
Akers. I'll have to look and see. Actually, I think Akers, one of the guys that's in the league, told me he had him and he's dropping him. So I think I might look to pick him up as soon as he drops him.
It's so hard to wake people up for.
We're live. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good. Good. Beautiful weather. This is
Gorgeous.
great fall weather.
Fantastic. Seems like we usually go from air conditioning to heat the next day, and this has been nice.
All right, I have 6 o'clock, so we'll call the Wabash City School Board meeting to order. Roll call.
All board members present.
Stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We begin each school board meeting by reading the Wabash City Schools mission. Wabash City Schools provides a relevant and rigorous education founded upon relationships to ensure each student is college and career ready for success in the global community. I'd like to welcome everybody. Do we have any recognitions?
Adam Whitmer from Hagerman, our project manager, is here. So he's going to be delivering the presentation from Hagerman shortly.
There are no revisions. Consent agenda with minutes from the September 8th meeting, claims, donations, and financials. Take a motion to
So moved.
a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion?
Mr. Stone, do you have any updates on the financials? Okay.
Any questions regarding the consent agenda? If not, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item I, the next regular scheduled board meeting will be Monday, October 5th, 2020 at Wabash City Hall at 6 p.m. We have a few items of communications. Public hearing of the Wabash City Schools Teachers Association and Wabash City Schools, September 21st, 2020, 6 p.m. Wabash City Hall. Public testimony will be taken at this meeting pursuant to Indiana Code 20-29-6-1A. Take a motion to open the hearing.
Move we open the hearing.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, the hearing is officially open. Are there any comments?
I'd just like to begin it by saying that last year was the first year that we began having these public hearings. And the idea, I think, is just greater transparency and making the public know, both the Teachers Association and the board, that official bargaining is about ready to begin. And so this has to occur before we can officially bargain. We can do informal bargaining, but until we take this action, we cannot do official. So once we do that, then the association and Mr. Stone and I will get together and start working on numbers. Now, if you remember, last year we did put together a table, a salary table. And so it is laid out and shows not by years, but by categories. And so again, I think the association and Mr. Stone and I both felt like it was a good step in giving teachers an idea of where you're going to fall every year, which is something that had not been there since did away with salary tables across the state of Indiana. So again, this is just kind of an opening and allows us to begin official bargaining with the Teachers Association.
Any other comments?
Move we close the meeting, the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, the hearing is closed. There's no old business, new business, a project update from Hagerman.
Okay, Adam, yeah, and I'll see if we can turn on this so the people in the studio can see the video. Maybe.
It'll probably go faster than I will, so I'll go ahead and get started. Made a lot of good progress, obviously on the field. Everybody saw that last week. You guys had an awesome win. The track surface has been going down for the past week, and it will wrap up, I believe, Thursday on strike. So we're still waiting on the fence, hearing when the fence is going to be manufactured. Those facilities are still shut down due to COVID, so we're waiting patiently on fencing, but we've got temporary in place. The LH Carpenter edition roofing is well underway. We're going to be wrapping up details the next 2 weeks around the top edges. Drywall should be finished, being hung next week. We're waiting on doors and windows and other finishes like that to come along. But as far as interior framing, we're about wrapped up, and everything will have drywall hung on it yet this month. The connector is taking shape finally. I know nobody saw a whole lot of anything other than a big hole, a bunch of concrete forms over there for the last few months, but we're getting ready to pour the concrete slab, the first section of slab, basically next to the old gym all the way around to the middle school. That should take place within the next 2 weeks. We are slated to start structural steel in a week, which will allow us to put the precast deck on for that second floor entry, or I guess first floor of the high school, which will encase the basement, which has got CMU block being laid right now. Now that'll be ongoing for the next week and a half. The gym's dried in. I talked to the superintendent this morning. He didn't mention it, but he did tell Bruce that we're going to be tearing down the old wall of the gym this week, starting Wednesday. So we're going to be opening expansion to the existing. Our goal is to get the bleachers that are in place, still the existing bleachers on the first floor, move back as far as we can to get basketball started as soon as possible. So we'll still have some temporary partitions up, some plastic up, but the goal is to get basketball started as soon as possible on schedule. Even though we're going to continue working, we'll have enough floor space. All I have on the gym. Painting and finishes will start probably next month. Another high-level item. I don't have anything else. Is there any questions on progress? Where we're at schedule? We're on schedule with the gym. We're on schedule with the connector. LH Carpenter, we're doing really good to keep track there. We would like to see another week to 2 weeks squeeze out of that schedule. So our crews are all working really hard to get we had a COVID case on that job, so we lost a week due to that. So we're trying to gain some of that time back, but we've got a lot of time left before Christmas to get that done. Is there any specific questions on any of the projects?
No, it looks great. So thanks for all you guys are doing.
Perfect. I think that's a video.
Yeah, if you want to walk through that, so.
Yeah, we can walk through it. So this is showing the addition at LH Carpenter. One other thing I forgot to add on that date, fall break, we're gonna do binder the parking lot. So we're prepping for that right now, and sidewalks and playground area at LH Carpenter. That's what's going on outside. As long as inside there is the field, you can see the track coating, the color difference between the asphalt and coating. So striping should be happening here in the next couple days. Here's the gym. Still got roof materials up there, but we're dried in for now, dry enough
Wow.
that we can maintain temperature and not worry about moisture mitigation into the gym floor. And there's the connector finally taking shape. That yellow stuff is the Stego vapor barrier, which goes underneath the concrete to manage the moisture mitigation. It pretty much blocks all the moisture from coming up and messing with any floor conditions or floor material and glues. Canopies outside of the north side of the gym. We're also going to start exterior concrete at the gym in the next couple weeks. I'm going to try to get as much in before it gets cold as possible. I don't want to do concrete next spring. So, any questions from that? Yeah. Thank you.
Adam, will there be seating done this fall for the
Upper deck?
around the football field in the areas where dirt was moved, and then down around the baseball
Seating. right.
seating? Yeah,
Yes.
seating. I'm
We're
sorry.
getting ready to do final grade. They were supposed to start this week, but they got delayed. So we're gonna try to get it down yet before middle of October so we can get it germinated. So
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna seed everything we can this fall.
Okay.
Including the area between the gym and the baseball field.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay, moving on. Item B, approve recommendation to hold hearings for the school bus replacement plan and the capital project plan. I think we're actually holding the hearing, correct? So I'll take a motion to open that hearing.
Move we open the hearing for bus replacement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Get it to open. All right. Am I supposed to read? Is there something to read?
There you go.
No, if I could get it to open. Okay, it's just,
Yeah.
there's nothing to read. Okay.
Mr. Stone, do you?
Mr. Stone?
Yeah, the good part about bus replacement, whether it pops up or not, is that for the first time in over a decade, and for probably the only time for the next decade, we don't have to replace any buses this year. So it gives us a little chance to catch up with our lease payments. It'll certainly help us this year because that comes out of operations where we get hit at. So as you can see on the chart, there's no buses to replace this year. Then there's two, and then there's only one each the next 2 years. So it's really good until we get to 25 when we have to replace 3. But the way we've set this up with the leasing, it's really helped us so that we don't get smoked with $300 whatever $1,000 for 3 buses, and it's just lease payments. So that is our plan. They only go out 5 years now, so that's why it only goes out that far. But the great part of that plan is this year we have 0. So bus replacement is really good.
Capital project?
On the capital projects, all that's on here is roofing and flooring. and then asphalt. And so no extras, no fluff. We're lucky because of the projects that we got some stuff done, but what happens with capital projects is that's where all the tax cap hit us. So if we really lose $500,000, there's no buying anything extra. There's no purchasing anything. There's no extra fluff. So the only thing on here is roofing and flooring and asphalt. And those are things that even then we may have a hard time paying for. Like 5-6 years ago, we had to use a geo bond to pay for some of that and use debt service. So we'll see how that goes. We've put off some flooring here the last few years, but that is the only thing on the capital projects plan.
Any questions? All right. If not, I would take a motion to close the hearing. Motion
Second.
and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the hearing is closed. Item C, accept resignation of Stacy Fry as third grade online instructor effective September 11th, 2020.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion.
Just thank Ms. Fry again. As we have built out the online instruction, we ask teachers to design the program and then teach the kids. And so from my understanding, Ms. Fry designed the class, and it looks like item D, Ms. Dutton will pick up where she left off.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item D, approve Heather Dutton as third grade online instructor effective September 11th, 2020.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion.
Thank you to Ms. Dutton.
All those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item E, approve Mrs. Jennifer Warnock for the following: Dean of Students at Wabash Middle School at a prorated salary of $50,000 beginning September 22nd, 2020. Athletic Events Supervisor for Wabash Middle School with a stipend of $2,500 beginning September 22nd, 2020.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, first, congratulations to Mrs. Warnock. Ms. Warnock is a veteran teacher for Wabash City Schools, has been with us a long time. I think a lot of people would agree with me in characterizing Mrs. Warnock as a master teacher. I know that Mr. Mattern had they are both joining us via Zoom, but they put together a committee, and Ms. Warnock came out the lead candidate, and you'll notice she's the dean of students. Part of that was the fact that she did not have a master's in educational administration, and so thus she's a dean of students. Again, that position is largely attendance, discipline, and the additional supervision. I believe Ms. Warnock will look to pursue that master's in educational leadership. And I just want to, again, congratulate her. She knows how to work students. And largely, as an assistant principal, you're dealing with a lot of negative situations on a day-to-day basis. And I think Ms. Warnock is a great candidate to make those into positive situations. And so I look forward to her in that leadership role at Wabash Middle School. And I think she'll serve our kids and our school and our community very well.
Any other discussion?
Leaving my 8th grade thing.
All right, if no other discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item F, accept resignation of Lauren Millspaw as English Department Chair for the Wabash High School effective September 15th, 2020.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, discussion.
Yeah, and I would say, again, another master teacher in Miss Millspaw. She is she's one of the best, and she takes on a lot of responsibilities and does a lot of things for us and has done a wonderful job as our chair. And so I just want to thank her for her time and service in that capacity at Wabash High School.
All those in favor of accepting the resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item G, approve Jacqueline Holly as substitute tutor, evening building supervisor for the Wabash County Community Learning Center for the 2020-2021 school year at a rate of $20 per hour effective September 8th, 2020.
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, discussion?
Yeah, thanks to the charitable contribution of the Damude Foundation, we're able to offer tutoring throughout the district. And our high school tutoring is conducted at the Wabash County Community Learning Center. Part of that reason is because we want to push kids there, use that facility. But we have also been able to use our tutors to help tutor some of the high school student or post-high school students who receive classes there. And it also doubles as supervision for that facility in the evenings as well. And so Mrs. Holly will do a fantastic job in that capacity.
All those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item H, approve Aaron Sapusek as the English Department Chair effective September 15th, 2020.
So moved.
The motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, discussion?
Just thank you to Mrs. Sapusek for taking on that responsibility.
All those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, items from superintendent.
Yeah, again, thank you to Mr. Whitmer and for Hagerman and all their support of our projects. Today we had our graduation from ambassadors. Just a reminder, the ambassador is our community outreach where we have community leaders that are been meeting on a monthly basis to learn more about Wabash City Schools and really public education. And we had an opportunity to meet out at Alumni Field. And again, everybody who's come in contact has just been amazed by the facility and the opportunity that it yields the kids at Wabash City Schools beyond just athletics. We certainly have had a lot of PE classes out there in addition to soccer and football. One of the individuals in the ambassadors group is Doug Adams, who does a lot for Special Olympics in Wabash County. And so obviously, you know, he sees that facility as create greater opportunities through Special Olympics as well. And so, and of course it will be able to provide that. But again, thank you to Mr. Whitmer for all our projects and all the work on that. Like I said, ambassadors had their graduation today, and so we're going to be calling out, and anybody who's out watching that's interested in becoming an ambassador, this is a year-long process where once a month we come together and, like I said, learn about school finance, school lunches. We take tours of all our facilities and just get to know the ins and outs of Wabash City Schools and public education. Ultimately, we want a more informed public when it comes to everything, to include future school board members, to volunteers. We've already been able to, we had a hiring committee with one of our committee member or ambassadors, Matt Jason, and he was just so much better informed about how we do public school and like I said, the ins and outs. Oftentimes we see things through our own lenses, especially when it comes to the school finance. And so we think of how we run our own home budget, and it's much different to run a $13 million school system that depends on tax money and sales tax from the state. And so it's just been a really good thing, had a really good turnout today. And so looking for that next group. We also, and I don't know what the acronym for GEARS is, but through CEL in Region 8, our Educational Service Center, we were connected to this GEAR grant, and basically it is to improve our internet connectivity, especially for online offerings. And we were the recipient of that and $100,000. So we're going to be working on devices and some connectivity and some professional development training for our staff as well. And so excited about that. Certainly want to thank Sel. I think it speaks volumes. Again, Wabash High School, Wabash City Schools continues to put themselves out there on a state level, and we continue to reap the benefits of that. Homecoming week, I'm sure Mr. Whelan will have some things to talk about with homecoming week, but it's always an exciting time for our students. I bring it up because I think it's very unique. We offer a homecoming parade at the end of the week, about 4:30 on Friday, where our kids in the homecoming court and our football team will go through the city of Wabash and be able to throw out candy. And it's really exciting opportunity. Usually the mayor and I ride in the front car, but this year we have a wonderful opportunity. The General Council of Japan out of Chicago, Consul General Okeda, will be visiting Wabash, and they're visiting Wabash because his office gave us a $30,000 grant to be able to hire a Japanese teacher, and he is coming personally to deliver that check to Wabash City Schools. I believe he'll be here Friday afternoon, and we have the wonderful opportunity to offer him a ride in the parade. And so I believe he'll be riding with the mayor and have an opportunity to throw out some candy in Wabash, Indiana. So I think it's a great international opportunity for General Counsel Okada and for Wabash City Schools and the greater Wabash community. And then lastly, I would like to report everybody who knows Wabash City Schools and Wabash High Schools knows that that we really are pushing post-secondary education. We, as a county, have been one of the lower attainment rates across the state, and so we have made it a priority. In 2015, we became Wabash High School became an early college endorsed through SEL. We also were the founders of Promise Indiana, or Wabash County Promise, that later became Promise Indiana, which sought to give every kid a 529 college savings plan. We did that in K-3. Patty Grant, the executive director of the Community Foundation, was one of our biggest advocates, and she believed in it so much that she went and created the Early Promise Scholarship Program in grades 4 through 8, which Mr. Winrich has been a part of. And so now we have this K-8. Well, because of all the work that we're doing, an anonymous donor, a Wabash High School graduate, has come forward and through the Community Foundation established the Wabash City Schools Opportunity Award. The Opportunity Award will provide every student in grades K through 3. This year, we'll do K through 4 with a financial award on 2 conditions. One, they set up a 529 through the Early Promise Scholarship. So they have to be a part of the Community Foundation Early Scholarship Promise, Early Promise Scholarship, and they have to graduate from Wabash High School. Upon doing so, they will receive $1,000. It's a huge financial benefit to be a Wabash City Schools student. Again, they have to sign up in grades K through 3 and then eventually graduate from Wabash High School. And so in K through 3, they'll receive the $1,000 in their Early Promise Scholarship account through the Community Foundation. And then that will be go towards higher ed when they graduate. And just a reminder, $1,000. Every kid, K through 4, starting now.
But did you say that includes 4th grade this year?
This year includes 4th grade. And again, through the generosity of that donor, they wanted to include 4th grade because of COVID last year really limited our numbers in the registration. And so they wanted to expand the registration in grade 4. And so this year only, they will include 4th grade, but obviously they also include 3rd grade. So next year's 4th grade should have an opportunity this year signing up for it, if that makes sense. So again, I would like to publicly thank the generosity of that anonymous donor. We talk about building a legacy of opportunity for all this is legacy building, because this donor has made it possible that every student K through 4 will have $1,000. Community Foundation, if the student goes through the Early Promise Awards, will have an additional $1,000, not to mention anything they contribute to their 529 along the way. And so it is truly unique to Wabash County, and I look to see this program continue to grow as we move forward. I know the Community Foundation is very excited about this, and some of the nationwide leaders in children's savings accounts, Dr. Elliott, and others will certainly want to study the impact that such generosity will have as we move forward. So it's exciting that a community of 10,000 can be a nationwide leader in college savings. And again, I want to thank that anonymous donor and also the Community Foundation. We'll send out a press release tomorrow on that, but it is public now. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, e-learning too. We had a very successful first e-learning day, which is kind of ironic after 9 weeks. I won't steal Ms. Tracy's thunder, but it was a very successful day. And I think we were well prepared, at least academically, for it after 9 weeks of e-learning. So want to thank all our staff and our administration for that as well. So
Thank you. Items from Chief Business Officer, Mr. Stone.
A good budget hearing last week with the city council. Nobody from the public came to ask any questions, but the city council had questions about a lot of things, not just the budget, about our projects and other stuff going on. So that was good. We will have our budget adoption meeting on Tuesday, the 13th, because of Columbus Day. So it'll be a day later, but we will do that on October 13th and we'll be done with that process.
Mr. Kelsheimer, I had one more thing too. I just noticed when I saw Mr. Stone with his W, which you can get that W mask, I believe, at the athletic office still, but I did not wear mine tonight. I wore this one because Miss Geibel went out of her way to make this one special for me. So Kathy, if you're watching, thank you. If you're not, thank you anyhow. So I just wanted to bring that up.
All right. Mr. Stone, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Okay, items from visitors.
I'll go ahead and start. Talked about homecoming. This is homecoming week, and it's also College Go Week. So we bumped College Go Week back to next week just so that we have time to focus on both of those things. So had to make some changes. We always had class competitions, but some of those involved way too much interaction between students, and so we did make some adjustments to what those class competitions are. So we're really looking forward to a good homecoming week. The ticket booth is almost done being painted as well. We kind of wanted to wait until some of the construction cleared before we started those projects. So last spring, normally all of our juniors take the SAT during the spring, but because of COVID, we weren't able to do that. And so the College Board opened up early SAT testing options, and so our seniors are going to take the SAT on Wednesday, and that'll be the first time that that group will take them in as a group because they missed that opportunity in the spring. So by taking it this early, it will give them another opportunity to take it still this year. So they should have 2 test scores for their applications that are typically in that November 1st range. So looking forward to that. We had just received notice from Project Lead the Way, PLTW, that we received a $2,400 grant. Mr. Justin Denny had applied for that for our engineering. And so we still don't have the details on it yet, but we were notified that we had received that. Obviously looking forward to the Consul General Okada coming on Friday, planning for that. And it's great that he's going to be able to participate in our parade. And then, our sports teams are off to a great start. Flag football, we're supposed to play last week, but because of some COVID-related issues at other schools, we weren't able to. But I think the rescheduling took place, and I think this Saturday morning will be their first. And so, thanks to Coach Philippi and Coach Philippi, they're, I think, ready to go this week. I also want to give a lot of support. Our girls soccer team, this is just their 5th year. They are having an outstanding season. Picked up a good conference win Saturday morning against Mechanical. So they're at the top of the conference right now, beating some teams this year that they've never beat before. So it's pretty exciting with what they're doing. And then lastly, I do want to thank Hagerman, continually just great to work with. They keep us informed on when they're going to be in some of those spaces where students typically are, and, getting a hold of us, and just quality of work. So, I can't say enough good things about just the courtesy that the employees have shown us, and just working with us to try to make sure that we're providing safe passage back and forth between the schools. So thank you very much.
Does the girls soccer, they have a game this week at Alumni Field?
Yes, I think they've had 2 they're supposed to be played on there twice now, and both of them have been canceled. But this, I want to say it's Saturday morning.
Wednesday.
Oh, they have one Wednesday, and then I think
Yeah.
Saturday. You're right. Yeah, this Saturday is a really busy day. We have the tennis invite, JV volleyball invite, soccer at home, big middle school cross country.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ms. Wheelan.
Mr. Callahan, can you hear me?
Yes, can.
All right. So speaking of soccer, Wabash is ahead of Marion right now, 2-1 at Marion High School. So a personal aside on that, I appreciate the board and Mr. Callahan allowing us to be able to do these kind of things and zoom in from here, because with coaching tennis and some other things, it's nice to be able to get to see Libby play. So they're doing well tonight. So if you hear, that must be Libby's boyfriend behind me there in her car. But they're doing well. So thank you for allowing us to be here. So a couple quick things. It is Indiana University Week at Wabash Middle School this week. Also, I guess, known as College Go Week for other schools. We do recognize other schools, but the principal will be dressed in IU gear all week. So I know, Mr. Kelsheimer, you probably appreciate that and may join me this week in that endeavor. Also, I wanted to say that we have the high school is gracious enough to allow our kids to participate in homecoming activities. So they're pretty excited, and that usually means a lot of our kids will be at the parade. So we appreciate that from the high school student council and Mr. Whelan. Wanted to tell you that we have a new adventure coming up in about a week or so. So we've partnered with the airport to create a rocket club, which I will be leading, and we will be building rockets at school starting next week. And on October 9th, we will go out to the airport and launch those rockets and learn about propulsion systems and flying and great things like that. So thanks to the airport, Jeff Travers specifically reached out to us and said, hey, you got some kids that would want to do that. And we absolutely do. So that's going to be a fun day for us. I guess the last thing I would say is welcome Jenny. We're excited to have her. Thank the committee for that. We had an outstanding committee that really did a wonderful job with open communication and asked great questions and analyzed what would be best for us as a building. And it made it difficult for us to not say yes to Mrs. Warnock because she did such a great job. So we're excited to have her. She will begin her master's classes in January. Haven't heard where yet, but she's working on that process. And so we're thrilled to have her there. That was a great process for all of us. And welcome to Jenny. So I think that's about it from the middle school. So thank you all. Again, I appreciate being able to zoom in and being able to be here and watch some sports action as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, all right, I'll go next. Just wanted to let you know, Moj Nevers, continue to be pleased with just the students and following procedures and face masks and social distancing. And just in my short time here, I've noticed we're giving away a lot less masks. So the kids are just getting used to doing that. And it's always interesting to me how students pick these things up. It's easier on them. They pick it up quicker. It's not as big a deal. Unfortunately, an unfortunate consequence to the COVID and the guidance is we have a lot less stuff going on, a lot less things that we can do and bring parents in. And so there's not as much to report from the elementary level. We did have our first PTO drive-in movie night 10 nights ago, and it was well attended. It was very chilly, but the kids enjoyed Trolls World Tour. And I had never seen it, so it was good. We had plenty of help there too, so that was nice. We had a lot of people helping make sure everybody got to the right spot. And then, if you haven't heard already, the PTO started a new fundraiser, and just with the way everything's going, it's going to be a readathon. And the kids are out doing this on their own, usually with family members, friends, neighbors. And so, if any of the students come to you, please sponsor a kid. They're going to read for money, and that's going to be the PTO's, at least for now, their fundraiser until we can maybe have activities where we can all get together again.
Yeah.
So yeah, please sponsor any kid that comes up to you. And lastly, we did have our e-learning day, but I won't say much about it because.
No, it means something different to each building.
Okay. It went really well. The staff had office hours in the morning, had a short meeting, lunch, and then an Apple training in the afternoon. But everything seemed to be going well, and we talked about it at our meeting a little bit. Some of them even came back today and over this week and are doing some practice days in their classroom now that they know some things that didn't maybe go as well. So they're working on those things in the classroom where they're there to help the kids. So if we get in that situation, of course, we got another one October 8th, but we get in a situation where we got extended days, the teachers were able to see some of those things that the kids needed help with within the classroom.
Thanks, Nigel.
Kelly Carpenter is clicking along. We're doing really great. Like Nigel said, we don't have a lot going on since we can't bring him into the building. Our e-learning day went very well. We had the Apple training in the afternoon, and then I did some conscious discipline, and they worked on seesaw and got a lot of collaboration done that way as well. I'd like to welcome Jenny aboard, and I can't ever say enough about Hackerman. They're great to work with as well in our building. They always take consideration of the kids, making sure that they stay out of their way, asking us if is it okay if we do this while you're in your office, that type of thing. So can't say enough about working with them. I'm done.
Thanks, Kathy.
So surprise, e-learning day was very successful. We like everybody had said across all levels. I think the professional development was appreciated. Again, we were able to have our district lead teams with literacy and math meet that day to help align curriculum. We were able to, with Justin Bale's help, get Apple training scheduled and organized, and we even had Mr. Hipskin be able to offer some CPR and stop the bleed. We sent out a survey to all staff this afternoon, and I think within an hour, we had already 25 staff members report out on that. And I think across the board, one of the questions that was asked was about the timing and the scheduling of the day, if they thought it was appropriate schedule for the day for everybody, and across the board at all levels, 100%, they said that it was really good. So that's really great to hear. I think another thing that has come out of that survey is that teachers are, they want time to be able to collaborate with each other across grade level bands, so we can do some vertical collaboration, which is really good to hear. We talked about that with the literacy meeting and the math meeting, and people that were in those sessions also expressed that same desire. So I think October 8th, we're going to be able to offer that out for staff. So that's exciting to hear. I don't know if I talked about this last time. I know I talked about partnering with the Honeywell Center with Integrative Arts and being able to pilot that at OJ Neighbors. Last week or so, I was able to join a leadership group that I was asked by the Honeywell Center, Teresa Galley, to partner with Manchester and Honeywell with the We the Many project. And this is a grant that I think has been a year in the making with them from Arts Midwest. And basically they find an artist in residency that comes to the community and is a connector to the community. So between Honeywell and Wabash City Schools in Manchester, we have an artist that's going to come and work with specifically our dual language program with creative writing and performance. So it's really cool to be able to be a part of that project. The artist was able to come last Thursday, and we got to tour OJ. We got to go to all of the dual language classrooms, and it's just really cool that we get to be a part of that. So one thing to notice different about Manchester Community Schools, they have an ESL population. So where they take this grant and that artist is going to look drastically different than the way Wabash City takes it and uses it. So it's just really cool to be a part of. And then I think if anybody remembers, I think late last fall, the leadership team worked with Mr. Callahan and IUK on our culture audit. And I think in January or February, IU came in and administered a culture survey. And the leadership team and also the entire staff at Wabash City Schools, those survey results all said that we would like to go from a market culture to a tribe culture. And that's about as far as we got before COVID hit. And we just didn't get to make any grounds with that. So I wanted to be able to share that's the next steps that we will be doing with that. We will be identifying a task force. And the first thing is to really educate the entire corporation on what it means and what it doesn't mean to go from a market to a tribe. And then to be able to start identifying and illustrating stories that that we want out of that desired culture, right? So we want a tribe. Everybody has spoken and they want a tribe or a collaborative culture. It's time to start identifying some of those stories and go with our next steps. So that'll be coming up.
Thank you.
Any other visitors' comments?
I just asked a question, speaking, because I've heard this issue in a variety of ways. So I'm the academic teams coach at Wabash Middle School. I do Spellbowl in the fall. I do math, science, social studies, and English in the spring. And right now I'm going through my recruiting phase. And one of the biggest issues I'm facing is just trying to have Zoom practices. And I would like to be in a classroom for that. But one of the issues that I'm facing is that we don't want kids to be in a building. And I would just, I guess I'm asking for permission to use my classroom and set it up as a classroom where if I give an assigned seat to all the kids in my club when we're socially distanced, can I use my room after school? Because one of the biggest issues that I have is getting kids to be on my team. So I recruit them usually with pizza, as you do. Can't do that. It's really hard to do that. And I want kids to be involved. And if they're not going to be in sports, I want them on my academic teams. And that's literally the biggest issue that I'm facing.
Did you talk to Mr. Mattern?
I mean, he's on the phone now. I've mentioned it to him, but I guess I'm here. Let's make it official.
Yeah.
Because I want our kids involved.
Yeah.
And it's one of the big reasons why I stepped away from soccer, so I can dedicate more time to the kids that are in between the gaps.
Yeah.
And I need my room, and I've got no problem starting at 4 so I can go get the pizzas, because I need to recruit, and I want to, retain my title that I won in Spellbowl last year. So
I don't think anybody disagrees at all, Zach. Nobody disagrees with what you just asked, but I think we probably, let's talk to Mr. Mattern and come up with that game plan.
But is there any reason why he couldn't do that?
I don't know. We need to look at our plans and make sure everybody's safe.
Because if he sets it up the way, if he sets it up the way he sets up his classroom, and, I don't know why we couldn't do that.
But it's up to Mr. Mattern.
right.
Oh, I
and
agree, but I'm just,
That's
what's in
the
my
biggest
opinion.
issue is that, what I don't want to have happen is kids say that they're on my team. And
Yeah.
that's why if I treat it like a classroom and say, I need you in here by 4, and I need you in this seat, I need you wearing a mask,
Yeah.
we're good. I think he'd be all for it, all in favor of it, but, you know, I'd at least just want, I don't want to get him in trouble. So, hey, if I'm down here, I might as well ask a question.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the guy to go to.
Oh, okay, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any others? All right, if not, items from board members. Yep. Rhonda?
Yep.
Tony?
Not much. Thanks, everybody. Heartland's off to a good start. I think the count day showed about 600 students, which is a significant increase.
It is.
Things are doing well.
Stephen?
Tonight.
All right. I know I say this a lot, but there's a lot of really good things going on at Wabash City Schools, and tonight's just proof of that with the anonymous donor, and with the $100,000 grant, our building projects and how they're coming along. It's exciting times to be part of Wabash City Schools. So thanks to everybody that's involved, our teachers, our staff, making it a great school year and a great place to come learn for our students. So thanks, everyone. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and second. We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Stephen?
Yep.
Something in the book that you need to sign.
Okay.
Thank you.
You done?
Fire that out. I would think so.
Well,
Setting up, cleaning up.